I'm reading this book, The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Shinn, and I'm telling you, it's life-changing. You know we have the subconscious and the conscious mind, right? The subconscious impresses upon the conscious mind to create our reality. So that's why we do inner child healing and we do methods to impress upon the subconscious mind, because that creates our reality. That is actually what manifests. It's not our actions, it's our subconscious beliefs and identities that we associate with, and fears and limiting beliefs. So many times we get stuck in the subconscious programming of lack, of limits, of resentment. And this book quite literally gives you the hacks of life to figure out how to break free of the matrix, basically. And she talks about forgiveness. She talks about how we have a superconscious mind as well. We have a subconscious, we have a conscious, and we have a superconscious. The superconscious is the Christ consciousness. It's the idea that we are one, the idea that we are one with Source, the idea that we are God, that we are divinity itself. And you can actually turn your burdens over that the subconscious mind is hanging on to. All of those beliefs, all of those traumas from life, all of those things that are keeping you stuck in the matrix and keeping you from impressing the conscious mind with what you actually want and creating the reality that you want. If you are getting stuck in a belief and you've done all of the inner child work and you've done as much as you can and you're still stuck in these limiting subconscious beliefs, this is when you turn it over to the super Christ consciousness, super conscious mind. As Florence says, you are casting the burden. So you are casting the burden that the subconscious mind is holding onto the superconscious mind. And there's actually a phrase that you can say. So let's say that lack is your belief that you're holding on to and you can't seem to break out of it. Or let's say people did you dirty and it was really hurtful and you can't get past it. You're in resentment, you can't forgive. You say this: I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to have plenty, or to have peace, or to have abundance, or to have bravery, or to have courage, whatever it is you want to have. So you basically say, I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to have whatever it is you're going to have. And she says that you should be doing this all the time. You should be doing this throughout your life. When you feel burdened, when you feel like ruminating thoughts or things keep coming up that you can't let go, you say this statement: I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to have plenty. She says often before the big demonstration, before you're about to get the thing that you want, or you're about to step into the identity that you want, it's often everything seems to go wrong, and deep depression clouds the consciousness. It means that out of the subconscious are rising the doubts and fears of the ages. These old derelicts of the subconscious rise to the surface to be put out. Many times right before you get the big thing or you step into the archetype, you're going to see this rise of the depression of the subconscious, because you're seeing all the things you need to let go rise to the surface. And you don't just let them rise and be depressed. You do this strategy. You see them, you notice them, and then you refer them over to the superconscious or to the Christ within. You lay those burdens on the Christ within. I love this part. It says, the students continued, how long must one remain in the dark? And I replied, until one can see in the dark. And casting the burden enables one to see in the dark. So it's not going to be taken away from you. You can't step into your abundance and the archetype of who you want to be until you learn to see in the dark. How do you learn to see in the dark? By casting the burden, casting the belief, casting the fear onto this super consciousness, onto this Christ consciousness. And then that is faith. That is faith. And as Florence Shinn says, faith without works is dead.